Hey everybody, welcome back to Hope and Freedom, the video series where I'm walking with you through uncertain financial times to help you find hope for today and freedom for tomorrow. Now, last time we talked about how important it is to use a budget to plan the way you're going to spend your money, especially if you're in a difficult financial situation. Now, if you've never made a budget before, it can be tough to know where to start. And if you're not a computer whiz, or maybe you're not super comfortable doing math, then sometimes the idea of budgeting is so intimidating that some people just never start it. But a budget is critical to getting through this time. And it's so important that what I want to do today is give you a free budgeting tool I have put together for you, and then show you how to use it in a couple really simple steps. So if you're watching this video on the website 30dayfreedom.com, you should see a box right below the video where you can click and download your Hope and Freedom budget. If you are watching on another platform, maybe social media or YouTube, just click the link that accompanies this video. It will take you to the website and you can get the budget to use for yourself. Now, this budget is built on a spreadsheet in Google Docs, and what that means is that it's something that I have stored in the cloud, and when you click on the link, it actually makes a copy of this doc and puts it into your Google account. So if you don't have a Google account, you'll have to start one. It's super quick before you can access this. And make sure you're signed into your Google account when you click the link to get your copy of the sheet. Now, once you've done that, you're going to come to a screen that looks like this. The first thing you need to know about this budget is that anytime you see a yellow highlight, it means you need to take some action. You need to tell it something. And so what you need to tell it here is what month you're budgeting for. So let's say we're budgeting for April. Now, this is a monthly budget. You have to do a new budget every month, especially during this difficult financial time. So just because you put some numbers in here in April doesn't mean they're going to be relevant again in May. So when May comes around, you're going to have to do a new budget with new information. So don't forget to change this detail every month. So I hit enter, and the yellow box goes away, and that means I'm done entering that information. So here's what you're going to see in the budget. On the top right is your budget overview. This stays on the screen no matter what's going on, and all these numbers are going to automatically fill in as we put in our data below. So you don't need to worry about this right now, but we will keep an eye on it later on. First thing we're going to do is enter information about your income. Now, if you have lost a job or you're on furlough or something like that, you may not have much income, but I've put plenty of boxes in here just in case you or somebody in your family does. I'm just going to fill in one or two here and there to kind of give you an idea how it works. For job one, we're going to say Laura's part-time job. And the next thing we need to do is put in the amount of her paycheck. Now, it's important that you put in the final amount, the actual take-home pay, so that the budget is actually calculating based on cash you have in hand and not money that's already been deducted from your paycheck. So let's say Laura's check is about $250, and you'll see that this box turns yellow. That's because we need to tell the budget how often she gets paid that $250. Is it weekly, twice a week? Twice a month, or once a month. We are going to click weekly, and you get that menu by just clicking on this little drop-down arrow here. So let's say Laura is working, she's got $250 a week of income. Now you'll notice in the My Budget overview, it is automatically calculated that that is about $1,000 a month in income. Now, the next category here is government benefits. If you get Social Security, if you get unemployment, if you get any other government benefit that comes to you as cash or money that you can spend, this is the place to put it in now. So let's say I've lost my job, I've got an unemployment benefit, spell that right. That unemployment is $1,000, and it is once a month. Now you'll notice the name of the category, it actually turns dark once you enter the information. All the others are kind of a light gray, and that is just an easy visual indication that you haven't put information in there yet. We're going to move on down. Other income, let's say we've got child support coming in from a previous marriage, so I'm going to enter that. Now you don't have to change these names if you don't want to. It's just an easy way to keep track of what you're putting in. And just for sake of argument, we're going to say this is $250 a month, and I'm going to click once a month. And that's all finished. The next category here is cash reserves. This is any money you might already have on hand from a savings account or a bonus or anything like that. So I'm going to run through these quickly with you. Let's say in my one savings account I have $500. what else is here in these categories? Well, if you got some kind of stimulus check from the government, maybe as part of the coronavirus stimulus or some kind of similar program, here's the place to enter that. Now, this isn't regular income. This is just income that is happening one time. So it's going to go into a cash reserve. So let's say this family gets $2,200 in stimulus money. What else is here? Well, if you got any severance pay from your job when you were fired, or proceeds from a sale. That means basically if you have anything on hand that you could sell to raise a little bit of money. So let's say this family has maybe $250 worth of things that they can sell to raise some cash. Now we see the budget totals, the total amount of cash reserves we have right here. Next thing we need to do is start entering some expenses, and I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm just going to do a few to show you how it works. Now these expenses are listed in order of importance. We covered this a couple sessions ago in our lesson called What You Really Need, and they're listed in order of importance. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So the first essential is food. Let's say this family spends $175 a week at the grocery. So we're going to click from the drop down and select weekly. Now you'll see places to enter electricity under all your utilities: electricity, gas, water, phone, internet, etc. Now you'll notice I didn't include cable or anything like that. We're just talking about the basics you need. And for most of these, let's say your internet, for example, it's going to be $50, and most of these are going to be monthly, but you do have the option in case one of them is paid more often than that. Also under essentials, you'll find clothes. Let's say this family spends about $50 a month on clothes. Next is major expenses. Housing is going to be the biggest one. Let's say your rent or mortgage is about, your rent or mortgage is about $1,200 a month. We're going to pop that in. Healthcare, let's say you spend about $50 a month going to the doctor, and you have medicine that costs about $25 a week. We're going to put that in here. Now you'll also see options for health insurance. So let's say your health insurance premiums out of pocket are $500 once a month. And then there are other things you can put in there: car insurance, life insurance, etc., etc. Annual expenses due this month. These are things that you know you have to pay this month that you won't have to pay next month. So let's say your vehicle registration is due and that costs $150. I'm going to pop that in. And then finally, down below, we have debt payments. Now, this could range from all sorts of things, from credit cards to student loans to car payments. We're just going to list these here. It helps to give them a name. So I'm going to call the first one car payments. And let's say the amount is $200 a month. And then we're going to have a student loan that is $150 once a month. And let's say, I spelled loan wrong, didn't I? Student loan. And let's say we have a credit card, and the minimum payment on that is $75 a month. Now, we're just listing the minimum payments for now because remember, we're just trying to get ourselves through a difficult financial crunch. You can work on paying your debt off later once your life is stabilized. Now, we've entered some basic information here. You'll probably have more for your life, but I want you to show what has happened in the My Budget overview box. There's a lot of math going on behind the scenes in this budget, and here's what it's done. First of all, it's calculated the total amount of income you have this month. Now that could change from month to month, but for this month, for April, we've got $2,250. It also totals the amount of expenses you have for the month, $3,225. And then it shows you what percentage of your expenses are covered by the income you have coming in. In this instance, it is only a little less than 70%. Now, if you have a deficit like that, it's also going to calculate how much you're going to need to draw from your reserves to cover the deficit. So in this case, this family is going to have to draw $975 from their savings to cover the difference between their expenses and their income this month. And finally, the tool gives you a calculation of how much longer your reserves will last based on this current level of spending. So this family, after they finish April, they can count on having enough money to get them through about almost 2.5 months before they run out of savings. Now we're going to end here for today. Next time we come back, I'm going to show you how to revise this budget, adjust it to find where your family's priorities should be. But until then, remember this: freedom starts in your heart.